Okay, so I came out here tonight and I got the Turbo 350 all together. You're probably asking yourself, why didn't I make videos as I went along? I did. A friend of mine came by and he wanted to show me a couple things, do some cool editing and super sweet, cool stuff, which I don't mind, but I'm bare bones, so I'm kind of stuck with technology, but that's what he likes to do, editing and AV stuff, and he's got that creative flair. He kind of knows what to do. So he came by, we did some filming, and I'm just going to show you guys. I got this transmission together. I swapped out the tail house, the tail housing. I got my new speedometer. Now you might be asking yourself, where the fuck is the hold down? Well, this must have been stripped out and they went up one size to a 5/16. I need to drill out the hold down. I need to drill that out and whatchamacallit, go to a 5/16 diameter bolt in here. They're usually like a quarter 20. So the pan is only on there to seat the transmission. I plan on putting a kickdown on it, and I gotta have the pan off to put the kickdown in easily. So, but it's back together. We did tighten up the end play. It was a little loose. End play should be between 10 and 30 thou. It was loose. I don't know why I left it that way. But nothing was ever hurt. Obviously, I think our wear problem was external to the transmission. So now when I mentioned to you guys in one of the earlier videos about, my drive shaft being too long for the car, I don't know where the hell this drive shaft came from, but it's what was in the Bonneville, and it almost had no slip. So I think under the right situation, like with somebody in it, taking a turn where the suspension flexes down, and what happens when it goes down, the drive shaft goes up. So let me find something here for you guys, and I'll explain this to you a little bit better if I can find it, because I put it away yesterday while I was fucking around out here. Actually, no. Here we go. That's why I remembered I put it in here. I saw that and I closed it and said, fuck it, I'll deal with it later. So, you got your drive shaft, right? It goes into your output shaft. If I can fucking get it in there. This takes two hands. So, let's say you don't got a lot of slop in there. It's significantly less with the drive shaft that's in the up there that came out of the Bonneville. Jesus, my phone just did like an auto zoom there. Let me get zoomed out. All right. So, when the suspension loads up and the back end, the body comes down and the suspension moves around, it goes forward. So my theory here is that it was pushing the output shaft forward, because as a unit from the input and the output shaft, the backlash or end play is designed to be a one-to-one deal. So I'll show you guys, and if you remember, if you follow and you watch in one of the earlier videos I mentioned, I think we're going to see something in either the low reverse or the intermediates. Well, I found it, and it was in the intermediates. Check this out. So you got this clutch plate that sits in the intermediate, right? So your clutches stack up onto this. This sits on one of the drum assemblies because it's beveled, so it's designed to sit that way. And you see this? This is scored and it's gouged. This is a wave cushion plate. This softens up the shift, saves components. You want this in the intermediate. That split, that's supposed to be there. That's the way it's supposed to be. When this clutch isn't engaged, this stuff just moves around, right? So if that drive shaft was taking the end play out of it, guess what was going on? This was getting pushed tight. And guess what was gouging it up? So this sits like this, right? It fits perfect in there. You can hear it. And guess what? As it's getting pushed around with no load in it, these sharp edges were cutting into that plate. these like chatter marks are supposed to be that this is a wave cushion plate, so naturally it's wavy. I have a graveyard of these transmissions in my basement, so I grabbed one that was in good shape, and I had a cushion plate that was one piece. And like I said, we also tightened up the end plate of the transmission to a little bit more satisfactory needs there. So I got about 10 thou of end play on it. It's a little on the tighter side, but that based off of my reference guides, you want it between 10 and 30 thou of end play altogether. So this is all set. I still plan on maybe sending out the torque converter. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think I had enough shit flying around in there that it's bad. I did see a flake in there, but at this point, it's like this transmission was in this car for like 2 years. And all the stuff I saw in the pan was like fine particulate stuff, like not a whole lot of big metal shrapnel. And it's in an area of the transmission where I think it was just dumping into the pan. It wasn't actually going through the circuitry. It was actually, the filter did its job. The filter was not sucking that shit up. But since it was in the intermediate, I think that material was just dropping straight into the pan, and it actually wasn't finding its way throughout the trans, because in all of our clutch assemblies, there was no fragments, no nothing. So I think I'll be all right. I'm having second thoughts on whether or not to send out the torque converter. We might just send it on this one and see where we go with it. But this is done, set up, that's set up, we're good. I'm going to let you guys go. Like I said, this is a quick update. The full video to this is going to come maybe over the weekend. He's going to do some editing over the next couple of days. And so from here, I'm going to shove the transmission away. We're going to pull out the engine, put it up on a stand. Next day or so, I'm going to finish up bolting the body, and then I'm going to get the rear end out. So we can rebuild it. And we're actually kind of back on course here. I thought the transmission was going to throw us a serious curveball, but I think once we get the rear end done into the engine stuff, I think by like the second to last week of March, we're going to start to be able to put stuff together, or at least get the engine on the engine run stand and fire it up for you guys, show you guys how to take some vitals, all that good stuff, which I'm sure you guys all know, but some of us kind of don't want to sometimes. But that engine's been in service for 10 years. I'm really curious to see what it's like. And of course, the tall tale is the vacuum gauge. The vacuum gauge tells you a lot. You check stuff with it, and it tells you so much about what's going on with the engine before you really start doing more individual tests, like cylinder leak down test, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe, follow us, give this a goddamn like, smash the subscribe button, invite your buddies, invite your friends. We're doing it out here like anybody else in a garage. It's quiet in here because I have to turn off the damn music because YouTube will, licensing rights, bullshit. So we'll see you.